Hi, I'm Mike of Nearly Enough Dice, and this is the Kerbal Space Program. And I figured out what's wrong with my landing script. And I kind of want to say it's because I'm an idiot, but actually it's more an interaction between things and the KOS scripting language and other things that I was not aware of. Basically, the problem is this. The problem is my habit has been, right before running my landing script, putting SAS, the stability assistance system, pointing retrograde, which is more or less what the landing script first does. It actually points to the surface retrograde, completely ignoring up and down, whereas the SAS thing, little button I press there, is orbital retrograde, or it takes into account up and down. At the moment, I'm orbiting, so I'm pretty much going more or less level. So that at the moment, the things are pretty much the same. But when I start the landing script, they're not the same. Now, originally, I thought my problem was when it kills velocity, drops, then it reaches the target height, and then I run my hover script. And I thought I was setting my steering in the hover script in a way that was different from the steering. I was pointing up, I thought, which was different from the up that the previous script was using, the actual landing right before the suicide button. And that could be a thing. I'm currently pointed retrograde, and when I run the landing script, probably the first thing it's going to do is the ship's going to do a complete turn, even though it's more or less pointing the same way. But that's actually down to the rotation component, I think. So, the difference between the ship pointing that way and the ship pointing that way, and when it says, well, I've got to move from there to there, it goes, instead of just doing that, which is what I think it should do. I thought that was the problem. So I was going through my script, saying, okay, when do I update my steering in the hover script, which is obviously where it all goes wrong. And I don't update the steering at all. All I do is I turn SAS on. And it has finally occurred to me that I tend to leave my SAS in retrograde, as opposed to stability assistance, which is just point whichever way you're pointing. Which means that falls out of the sky, hovers, and then puts the SAS on, and the SAS could be pointing, well, if the craft is going downwards, then retrograde is pointing that way. The bottom of the craft will be pointing downwards because it's going to arrest the motion. But if it's a hover script, it could be going up, it could be going down, and if it's going slightly up, then retrograde is upside down, and that is not a thing I want. And that's, I think, what's causing the problem. And so I've gone to the time and trouble of getting another version of this craft, this Pallas IV lander. I think the last one was actually Pallas IV, not Pallas V, so I may need to rename it. This might be Pallas V, I'm not really sure. I need to go through and look at all the crashed remains of my craft to see what I should be calling this. And so I got this all the way to orbit. I put Verna engines on it for RCS control for when I'm docking, because I suddenly remembered that I'm going to be docking this thing and I need lateral control. But I still haven't put lights on the stupid thing, which is going to limit its actual use. I have to be on the day side, really, or I'm just going to crash into things. But what I'm going to try and do is land somewhere near here, which is one of the places I need to get to do science for one of my missions. I would quite like what I really want to do. There's a whole bunch of them. There was a whole bunch of them. Yeah, these ones over here, but they're right on the night side. They're right on evening. So I want to get someplace that's close to science, but it's still I have a fair amount of daylight left, because I won't be able to operate in the dark because I'll crash into things. Well, I hopefully won't crash into things, but I won't know when to land. That may not be as much a problem as it might be, as it turns out. But still, I'm going to want to operate during the day with this particular craft, rather than during the night. And there are other issues I need to work out, like although jetting around the moon looks pretty cheap in terms of delta V, I do have to keep an eye on. I mean, I have to get the ship into orbit. Well, this rover. I need to get this rover into orbit to get to the science station. To get more fuel to do more science and So I have to keep an eye on that and not try not to get too mad about jetting about. So don't go, oh, I can go to another location. I need to get an idea of how much delta V it takes to get to a new location, and thus how much delta V I actually have available to me. I probably want to work out also very efficient ways of getting, because, like, for example, I've got this slot here, this location here, and I've got this location here, and they both have latitude and longitude. It would be kind of nice if I could work out the most efficient way, doing a burn, boom, and then doing another burn at the other end to kind of land, instead of the probably quite expensive way of hover, 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 point, whoosh. But if I am right, and I've got my landing script sorted out, and it should literally be as simple as clicking that before I start my landing script, which I'm going to start now, in fact. I'm still being very naughty and running everything from the archive, which theoretically this thing should not have access to on the moon. If I really cared about that, then I would be running remote tech, I should think. Right, there we go. I'm going to set all the engines on. I hadn't done it. Let's get a little away so it's not quite so noisy. Oh, it's looking reasonably flat. Then suddenly not flat at all. So it's going to depend on where exactly we land. But that shouldn't matter, because when I turned SAS on, when I had SAS on, I'm now on stability assist. That should fix everything. At least that's the hope. It's nice and flat here. I do hope I land in a nice flat bit and not the lumpy bits that are coming up. There we go. It should be nice and flat. I'm just hoping it doesn't overshoot. I really need to fix this bit. I do a very crude thing to make sure it doesn't overshoot. So gradually reduces the throttle as it gets close to completely killing the speed. Right. So now we're falling down. So it's all to do with suicide burns at this point. So fall. What's my true altitude? So I've got about 4,000 meters to fall here. I'm in the Midlands. I don't know how much science I've done in the Midlands. Falling from the sky. Now, if I'm right, then I'll quickly put my SAS on. Yeah, because if I'm right, then it should just hover nicely about 100 meters from the surface, give or take. 100 meters was my original margin of safety, and it might be more than I need. But we will see. So it's saying it's going to be starting the burn about 300 from the surface. 300, 350. I'm still 1,000 over the surface. God, I hate this bit. This bit always feels like it's not. Like it cannot possibly be starting the burn at the right time. It just can't, you know. Yeah. I think, no, it can't possibly. There's no way. And there's my shadow. Right, so now I am hovering. And I use a slightly different version of the hover script which goes to a specific altitude, and the specific altitude is wherever it ended up. So you can see with my safety margin of 100, I actually got to 91. But here I am hovering. Look at that! It worked! Now we're just going to grab all this fuel, and I'm sure there's some clever way I can do this programmatic, you know, in KOS. But I don't care. No, that's not. Have I not been hitting Alt or something? Right, let's try that again. Hitting Alt. Alt. Oh, the other possibility is I hit something that wasn't a fuel tank. I didn't realize it. Right, so those are all fuel tanks, and I've hit out and out on the fuel and the oxidizer. It will equally fill each of the tanks. Now I just need to make a version of this rover that's got lights on it, and I'll be brilliant. And maybe I'm going to need some kind of warning when I type land. It says, well, make sure that your SAS is not pointed in a stupid direction, or you'll die. Very happy. But here's the question: am I brave enough? Am I brave enough to use this script on the Athena lander? Right, so we'll decouple the nodes. And there'll be a bit of a drift as the craft goes, wait, I weigh suddenly a lot less, and my velocity, my ability to thrust is slightly different now. Oh, it's all very confusing. Boom! And now I just hit 1 until I land safely on the ground. Oh, this is so pleasing. So this is exactly what I wanted to happen, and now it's happening. Oh, it's so gorgeous. And you know, I may have to come up with the end point of this script is extending the gears. But I can land so gently that I'm not even going to blow the tires. So I can just land. I mean, that's probably the next thing to do is to come up with a. Okay, so I've got a bit of sideways drift, so I can correct that maybe. Now, which way is forwards? I'm only going down a tiny. I'm only moving a tiny bit. Have I set that as a navigation point? I have. Now the question is, where is that point from here? Oh, let's land actually. Let's just land. Whoa, that's not warp. That's not warp. Let's get on the ground. Because while I'm just kind of thinking, I don't want to waste fuel. So it's a bit slopey here. Tell you what. And then I'll just lower myself to the ground. And declare victory! Ha 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 ha! Oh my god, that feels good. After all that nonsense. Oh, turn my panels on. Yes. Get rid of that. Go on, go away. Are you? How am I doing for various things? Okay, fine. But now, the next question is working out where that navigation point is relative to myself, because it's not. I don't get a target type thing like I do with if I was to set no, if I could set, can I set that as a target? No, apparently I can't. It would be quite. No, that is me, isn't it? I can't. Of course I can't set myself as a target. That would be silly. Well, I need to go south, is what it's telling me here. But what I'd quite like is something on the nav board saying, go this way. Right, now, so what I'm going to do, run pit hover target 50. And I'm going to try and work out which way I'm pointing again. Which way makes sense to me. So I want to head south on a... Now this should be me heading south. Ooh, I'm sinking. Oh right, that was me overshooting. I went massively. Oh, there we go. Cool. The script is probably tuned a bit is tuned to Earth gravity rather than lunar gravity. You can see how little thrust I'm using. The question is, am I going to be able to see my motion on this? I don't think so. I do hope I am in fact going south. So this is not a very efficient way of travelling in terms of fuel. What would be much better if I could work out a suborbit, but I'm going in the right direction. So I'm pointing my head towards it. Yeah. So this isn't the most efficient way of doing it. What I really want to do is work out a suborbital path from here to here. Go boom, drift, 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 drift. Suicide burn, hover, stop. That is something I should be able to do with the information I now have. And I'm picking up speed a bit, so I'm just gonna. And the problem is, of course, I now lose my navigation thing. My navigation thing is down the bottom of the nav ball. Conveniently, also, because this is relatively flat. I'm not having to be very careful about looking ahead and going, oh, that's a big steep thing, I want to slow down before I smash into the big steep thing. I have some ideas for making a terrain following thing. How much delta have you ever got? Loads. I should look up exactly how much I'm going to need to get into orbit, but it's way less than 2,000. I think it might be 1,200. I think is to get up and back down again, but I don't particularly want to get up and back down again, or at least I don't necessarily need enough fuel to get up and back down again. Yeah, look at that. Go in the right direction. I don't particularly need to get up to go up and get back down again. What I need to do is get up, refuel, and then once I've refueled, I can bop around the surface. So long as it's daytime, because I didn't put lights on this. So Pallas N plus whatever one more than this is going to be exactly this thing with lights. That is what it's going to be. So hurrah. So I'm going at about 120 odd miles an hour, and this 50 meter kind of cushion, my 50 meter target height, is enough thus far, given my speed, but now I'm not so sure. So I slowed down a bit. Maybe didn't need to, but meh. Now this is the problem. The problem right now is I cannot actually navigate. I can't see where that is. I might have to come up with something cunning to allow me to do that. The obvious thing would be to you can in KOS you can access you can access information on waypoints, so I should be able to set a waypoint, or at the very least give this an X and a Y, or a latitude and longitude, and then from that, how's my Delta V getting on? Still pretty good, still fine. But yeah, so either point me towards that latitude and longitude, or this should be entertaining, and by entertaining I mean utterly terrifying. So I'm now vastly above the surface, so it's just going to drop down. Now the question is, I shouldn't be dropping down so fast that I end up crashing. The other wall is going to be slightly entertaining, and in fact I have no control at this moment, because I only have control when I'm hovering, and I'm not currently hovering. That may be a thing to think about. So if I'm worried about quite how fast I'm coming up against that, pull back a bit so I'm not going so fast, and that way I will have enough time to I will have enough time to adjust my vertical height. The script will have enough time to adjust my vertical height. So there we go. We're going to end up over the lip of that. I should have done some science along the way. I really should have done. Because I've just passed out. I'm now just back in Midland, which is kind of dull. Now, how am I getting on for... Right, so I don't really need to adjust my navigation just yet. So I can pretty much cope with... oh! I mentioned Bob's Fortune. I want to lower... Oh, this is the downside. I'm now, because I'm bouncing up in the air. I don't have any control. I won't have any control until I get 50 meters. I think I need to do a clever thing. I need to do a full stop, which again just sets the target altitude to the current altitude. Being able to the other clever thing would be to work out how to stop exactly by the tilting. That's a script I'm working on. Let's start going down. That is a script I'm working on, but there's a lot of tuning going on with that. Oh no! Wait. Well, let's get up. A suggestion has been made of have an action group that points you up, and that does seem like a very smart idea. Let's go down, and I might change it to because the PID hover, which this whole script is based off. It was just a demo, it was just a demo to see what you could do with it. And so using the gear as whether or not you're stopped was perfectly reasonable. I probably don't want that for this for actual use. I probably want to have a completely separate thing that turns it off. Oh, this is so bloody sweet. Why is it telling me all the... I don't want to warp anyway. Right, so I have arrived in Bob's Fortune, whoever this is. I'm pretty sure it said Bob's Fortune, so I should be able to do my temperature scan here. If I can find the temperature thing. There's the temperature thing. Log temperature. We'll send that off. Did that happen? I'm not quite sure what happened there. So many of these, it's ridiculous. Making outpost, text sergeant readings, seismic. I'm trying to find the temperature one. Or the thing that says mentions Bob's Fortune. Oh, well, I'm not sure it worked then. I got some science out of it, there's nothing else. Text seismic readings. Like alpha, gamma. Badlands. Plant flag, building outpost, which is a completely different thing. Text seismic readings. Alpha, delta. Thompson's slide, Bob's Fortune. What does Bob's Fortune show up? Oh, in flight. I want to be in flight. Oh, I can really manage that. And world best. And I just lost more lessons. Right. Oh wait, I'm doing it wrong. Log temperature, transmit for sodal science. But there we go, that's me added that one. So I've got 90 science just off succeeding. Sweet! Oh, this is just the brilliantest thing. I'm a happy bunny. I am a happy moon bunny. Yes. So there you go. I have finally succeeded. I finally worked out what the problem is. I'm probably going to lose a few more craft due to the fact that I'm an idiot. Let's just slow down a little bit. I'll just Control C actually. I don't want to put the gears down to turn it off, and then I'll turn the throttle off. So brilliant. I certainly was able to get from there to there. Not too bad. I don't know if I will be able to get all the way from there to there and have enough fuel to be able to get out of the atmosphere, which is a thing I am going to want to do. while I'm down on the ground and I haven't blown that up, let's log some seismic data. Well, I'd only get 1.6 science transmitting it, I might as well. What science to have in a minute? 409. I can get another thing because they're all on the 300s at the minute. So anyway, I am Mike in Enough Dice. If you've been enjoying these videos, then like and subscribe. It would make me feel even almost as happy as landing something at long last. All I need to do is make another one of those that's got lights on it. You can find us at nearlyenoughdice.com, which is our role-playing game themed podcast and blog. And until next time, land safe and reach for the stars.